Okay, so today we are getting back at these tail lights. We're going to get these things cleaned up. Got a little bit of steel wool. We're going to start knocking some of these big paint chips and rust. We're going to get all that cleaned up, get that out of there. This stuff just eats away at that. So I'm going to work on this for a few minutes and we'll get right back with you. As you can see, this has taken off a lot of the rust. Big rust and big chunks. We've got that knocked down. So I think I'm going to switch over to sandpaper and start getting this a little more refined. And then we're going to tape this section off and kind of separate it from the rest of the truck. It's looking a whole lot better. Nice and clean, bare metal. All the rust is gone. Most of it. Okay, got a little bit more to clean up on this side. I think I got all that sprayed rubberized undercoating off of this tail light. Somehow it got all the way up here. So we'll keep working on this, get this cleaned up. I think we got that pretty well cleaned up. I'm going to come back and hit it with a finer grit of sand. Alright, now that we got all that done with the power sander, we're going to get in here with the sanding block. We're going to hit it with a 180. We're going to just start working this a little bit, trying to get it cleaned up just a little bit more. Alright, had a little fumble there. A little sponge. Alright, we're just going to work in these angles. I have to get my smaller sponge out here to do the lighter sanding and finer details. Might not look it, but it is getting a whole lot smoother. Got a lot of scratches up here to work out. So I'm going to switch to a finer sandpaper here in just a minute. Okay, wipe that down. Get all the dirt out of here. Alright, before we get too much further with the sanding, we're going to go ahead and tape off this section, kind of get it prepared just to keep all that sanding and paint and stuff away from the rest of the bed while we're doing that. Okay, got that papered off. Now we're going to keep working on sanding on this corner and around the taillight. Finish getting it cleaned up, ready for paint. Okay, so now we've gone over that with a 120. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit it with a 240 next and then get ready to prime this thing. Although I'm going to retape that paper too. My paint tape was old and started peeling off, so I'm going to grab a new roll. Okay, we got it all sanded down. We're getting ready to retape that line. I'm going to mix up a little bit of Bondo. Got a small spot just right up here that we're going to fill in. Maybe here down here. I'll have to decide. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we got a little bit of Bondo mixed up. We're going to take our little applicator, apply this. We don't want a whole lot. Over any small spots that I can find that. Just fill that in real quick without having to waste all this. And after that dries for a few minutes, we'll get back to sanding that down with about a 240, and then we're going to go ahead and prime this thing. Greasing the metal before we apply the primer to it. Now that we've got it all sanded down, got the couple little spots filled in with Bondo, got those sanded down. As you can see up here, that it should be ready to go. Put some primer down. Alright, good. Alright, so now we're going to primer this thing. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing primered. Try to put it on lightly so I don't get any runs. You can always come back and do another coat. Alright, now that we got it all primered, now we just have to wait, let this thing dry. We'll do another coat, do a little more sanding, and then see if we can't get that paint put on tonight. Got our second coat of primer on. It's looking pretty good. Everything looks pretty clean. So we're going to let that sit for a little bit and probably get back at it tomorrow. Okay, gonna hit this primer with a 400 block. So I'm gonna get busy with that and get back to you, get ready for paint. First coat of black paint on the corner. So far, no runs. Just a first coat, looks pretty good. Second coat of paint is on. It is just about dark though, and I do believe we are going to have to finish this up tomorrow. Alright, we're going to get our last coat of clear coat on this thing. Should be pretty easy. Got it all waxed into grease, got it cleaned up. Going to do the last final coat. Alright, got the passenger side sanded down, got it prepped, got it taped off, so we'll get ready to prime that here in just a moment. Okay, so now we got that first coat of primer on there. Did get a little bit of run in the corner, so we'll sand that out and do a second coat. Alright, so clear coat is dried. We're going to go ahead and peel this off and see what kind of line we have. I do know we are going to have a line, but it's just a matter of how bad it's going to be. And then we can try to blend it from there. But this bed, honestly, the entire bed needs to be redone. And I just don't feel like doing all that right now. But that back corner sure does look good. So we will blend this. I'll get this blended out so it's not such a hard line. And then show you what that looks like. And then hopefully we'll get these taillights in here sooner than later. One more shot of it. All completed. Alright, let's see if we can't sand some of this line out. That's pretty bad. We'll get a little bit of water going. Got 1,000 grit. I'm going to start with 1,000 grit. Let's see what that does. I don't want to be too abrasive with it on a fresh painted line. So you do want to keep it wet. Okay, got that cleaned up a little bit more. So, as you can see though, we do have a line that kind of goes down right there. You can kind of see it. This truck bed is obviously not perfect. It's got lots of body work still going to need to be done to it. But that is another day's project. This was just kind of a sample to get things started to see how well I could do this. And not bad for the first time. Alright, so today it's time to put in the new tail lights. Finally got all the paint rust stuff done. Clear coat's dry. Everything looks pretty nice there, so we're going to go ahead and get these new tail lights put in. But first we're going to change out these bulbs. You guys remember seeing these bulbs were both pretty bad. So we're going to go ahead and pop those out. Alright. Got our new bulbs. Put those out of the way. Alright. Then wrap this new tail light. Again, it's literally just 2 Phillips screw heads that hold these things on. It's kind of surprising. Alright. That looks pretty nice. You can definitely see the color change. The old one and the new one. Quite a bit different. Same light, different color. Alright, now we're going to move on to the other side. Oh man, okay, well, that tail light is in. Both tail lights fully installed. Now let's see if one of them actually works. Alright, so here we are at nighttime. We got the lights on. I'm going to run through the different signals in reverse and let you guys see what that looks like.